It has been way too long since we have last raced at this circuit, but Alliant Motorsports Champions is back in China, one of the most breathtaking F1 circuits on the calendar, with so many options for overtaking. Who will be brave enough to try the outside line into turn 1? Who will be the beneficiary of one of the longest DRS zones on the F1 calendar going into the hairpin? We will find out very shortly as the grid gets set for a rain-soaked start to this Grand Prix. We are getting ready to go racing then here on Alliant Motorsports Champions. 5 lights on, the rain pouring down, and we are getting well and truly underway as the drivers rocket off the grid. It looks like a so-so start for Quad in the Williams, and a lot of the other drivers fighting for position behind him. Genji sneaking his way up into P3. Quad now down to second place as they push and shove. Becky B keeping it nice and safe immediately behind them, as there are plenty of drivers going side by side here.
In the back, and the Red Bull is down at the back of the grid. Trouble for the Red Bull team continues, barely avoided by his own teammate Andrew. So we'll see if he can catch up to the rest of the pack.
That is absolutely right. Becky B getting switchbacked by Woman here as the McLaren driver makes his way up into 6th position. And this is behind, but keeping his overtake off, letting the front runners essentially sort themselves out as Jonathan Chen lines a move up to the inside of Woman, nearly pushing his rival off the track is the Alpine driver, but fighting the traction, he emerges in front. Strategy going forward, how are you planning to salvage this race from here on out?
Well, right now, we're just gonna do what we can. We're just gonna keep with a normal strategy, pit at the normal time. Andrew's gonna go pit first, then we're gonna have Zay. We believe we can salvage this.
Excellent stuff. And we have been watching the fantastic battle between Alex Great and Jetty, who now go side by side once again, making light contact there on apex of turn 2, and still side by side they go. Slowly but surely, the Haas driver trying to stake his claim, oh my goodness, onto 11th position, and that he does. Alex Great barely keeping the car under control as he files in behind the Haas driver.
Absolutely, a great race between that 3, and the driver coming in to that battle as well as Jaquan.
Oh, contact, Desi! There's been contact, and I believe that is between Zay and Ironhammer.
As I was saying, driver to keep an eye out on is Jaquan 918 in the Alpha Tauri. He's been making up a number of positions off the start and seems to have very competitive pace. So his setup might be working a treat right now. So look for him to make another couple positions.
That is right, and he pulls to the inside of So Spicy as you said that, and nearly walks away with another position. Still very, very close behind his rival, and he is making motions to the outside of turn number 1. Does he have the confidence on the traction? He definitely does. Look at how much speed the AlphaTauri is carrying around the outside of the corner, still side by side. They go, and he will have the inside for the next one, but losing just a little bit of ground against his rival. Will he have the traction on exit? It doesn't look like it.
Tight battles going on all around the track right now, and the softs, sorry, not in the softs, the intermediate tires, everyone has been locking up into the braking zones and struggling to exit, which makes overtaking very, very difficult and risky, treacherous. I can't imagine the heart rate as we have a bit of a spin. So Spicy's off into the wall. Looks like he doesn't want to pick up any damage, but like I said,
side-by-side stuff there through the apex of corner 14 as Andres gets a much better exit compared to his rival in the Alpine, and he will try to leverage said exit along the straight, taking the outside line, braking way later for the Aston Martin driver, isn't it, Ezzy?
Absolutely, that's absolutely what you cannot let happen under state VSC. Unfortunately, I have been the recipient of several of those, and the description can only be frustration. And that's, I'm sure, exactly what the Patowski is feeling in the cockpit right now.
Verifies he too is pushing about as hard as he can in his quest to overtake the Williams, getting particularly close at the end of this straight. Alex Gray makes a late defensive move, all clean though, as Jaquan looks to switch up the racing line, but losing that extra bit of grip by over-tightening his line on exit from that corner, and that will have been contesting and pushing their tires to the absolute limit, as is Andrew S. right now, lined up alongside Ironhammer. The Mercedes has a bit of a lead going into the corner, taking the outside line, and just look at how much grip the Red Bull has on the inside. Andrew S. triumphantly takes that position from his rival.
Ironhammer behind as well.
That he absolutely does. And is Zay taking an outside line? Yes, there he is. There he is. That's going to be something we can ask Cole Mattingly after the race. But very efficient way of letting his partner through. Zay critical. Oh my goodness, as I say that, Zay loses the car on exit from turn number 4.
Ever so slightly. But that's very unfortunate for the Red Bull team, but at least they have one driver now up at the points, as Jaquan looks like he'll get Alex Gray.
Oh, that is right. He puts a wheel onto the grass even in his attempt to overtake, getting squeezed to the very inside in the braking zone for this corner. Still the two keep it clean on the track, and still side by side here on exit from the corner. The Williams critically has the inside line. The Codemasters cameras are just absolutely wreaking havoc on our ability to spectate this battle. But his luck for this race, the Ferrari getting so very close to the rear diffuser of the AlphaTauri as the two go side by side into the hairpin. The Ferrari on the inside, the AlphaTauri on the outside. Will Becky B have superior traction? They bang wheels. They bang wheels again, and nearly does Charles lose his car on corner exit, which this rain will stop. But even if that were to happen, how much longer does it take to open up a dry line that would be accommodating towards a soft tire, for instance? Side-by-side stuff, though, between Duck Lovers and Charles, the AlphaTauri driver, making this as hard as he possibly can for the Aston Martin, taking the inside line into the hairpin, and wow, Duck Lovers able to just beat him on traction. That he is. He has to make this overtake on track, or has to make this overtake before the finish line to get lead of that championship, as Alex Gray, still defending from Andrew S., sees his rival go down the inside, tries to switch up the racing line. And what is this going to lead to in the final corner of the Grand Prix? The Red Bull taking an earlier apex, and Alex Gray shuffling in behind him. He's got pace, however, for a counterattack around the outside of turn 1, going all the way around the Red Bull car. But this is where the camber starts to fall away, and this is where the Red Bull is going to have an advantage. Alex Gray fight as he tries for the inside, unable to hang on to that racing line. Another fastest lap. His gap to Becky B only 3.3 seconds now. Quad lining to the inside of Charles. He will not have the lead going into the corner, but he will have the inside line. The two go side by side as the Williams tries to find the traction along the inside, and he succeeds, or does he? Charles thrusting himself back onto the inside of the next corner. Turn number 3, now through 4, and these guys still running side-by-side lap, so that weather prediction may have some merit to it. And once again, now in the third, you can see the track is slick. It's still reflective, which means it is moist, as Jaquan lines up to the inside of Varnes through this critical corner exit of turn 13. And is that the job done for the AlphaTauri driver? Certainly looks like it.
Yeah, absolute mistake to go on the softs this early. He is losing 10th every second, it appears. Now, there's an interesting question raised there.
Full on their hands with Ironhammer bashing that team strategy to shift onto the soft tires. Very unhappy with his pace as he does overtake two drivers that are pitting now, as Jonathan Chen on those fresh inters looking very, very comfortable. Overtakes Genji. Entering turn number 9. These guys are absolutely lacking in pace in front of him, but they're going to go side by side into the following corner. Becky B late on the brakes, trying to make something happen here as his rivals struggle for traction. Can he switch it up to the inside line? One overtake done for the Ferrari driver, and another one looking inevitable as he lines up to the inside, nearly spins the car. But he remains on traction, he remains on throttle, and it is now a drag race down the rest of this straight. And it is, we're going to go on board with Varnes immediately behind him as they line up to the braking zone. The Ferrari, so much more traction. He goes a little bit deep. Is the Williams able to switch it up? No, he is not. Closing in literally with our very naked eyes against that McLaren driver. Genji not sure if there is anything he can do, but critically the gap between Genji and Jonathan Chen was only a little over 4 seconds.
Yes, he is. He's going to get changed for sure. I think Quad, who really had the brilliant strategy, staying out, that gap, 8-9 seconds might be, I think it's just too much for Duck Lovers to overcome. But we're going to see Duck Lovers get him here in the next braking zone, no problem whatsoever.
Immediately in front of him, Becky B up to 5th position, looking to elevate himself past Genji, but he will be too far away. And we see Jaquan just going all the way, or forgive me, Charles going all the way around the outside of Alex Gray, as does Andrew S.
That has to be so much frustration for Duck Lovers. He only needed probably 3 more corners to get the Quad in the Williams, but very nicely done to get past Chen, who manages the P3. But, oh my goodness.
We'll go on board, though, with our late race leader, Quad, who is coming across the final apex of the track. He's coming across the start-finish line, and he takes victory in the Chinese Grand Prix, keeping it on those intermediate tires to the end and besting the likes of Duck Lovers and Jonathan Chen for his first race victory of the season. Let's move on then to the podium celebrations. Quad taking his maiden win of the season, and Jonathan Chen and Duck Lovers sharing that podium with him. Some strategies worked out to perfection today. Others were risks that did not pay off, but all 3 of these drivers can definitely be very, very happy with their performance today.